you doing? James Marchie here at J-Tech, and I'm gonna go and show you the procedure to check out a truck for a pre-alignment inspection. So first step is gonna be check out the condition of the tires. One of the first steps on that is you want to verify and ensure what your tire pressures are supposed to be. So on the inside portion of your door jamb, just like on your standard car, you're gonna have that. So for the front end, it should be at 110. For the back, should be at 100. And for the 110 psi for the back. So, we'll grab the tire gauge. Check the tire real quick. Tire pressure on this one is, say, about 102. So this one needs a little bit of air in it. So we'll go and fill that one up later. Once we get it to the correct PSI, then we'd be good. Let's go and check the rest of the tires real quick. Also during this one, all around that tire, we're going to check the depth gauge. And depth gauge says 16th. Say about a 16th of an inch there. So it is well within wear. Check for unevenness. We'll go on the next one. See, it's a little higher on the inside, so that right there means the camber might be off, being that it's unloaded. That's possible, especially if you're driving around a lot unloaded. That will cause it. So you'll want to notice the tire wear, so that's one of the things we're going to check on the alignment overall anyway. So now we're real quick running the back tires. And this one's at a 110. We'll go do the same thing on this one. Make sure we're not doing it on a wear bar. And there's the 12. See if I can get a 10. No, I think the 12 is probably the closest. So 12, 30 seconds, come down to about a 3/8. So definitely plenty of tire tread on these. So anyway, we carry out this procedure out for the remainder of the tires, just to double check all those. Next thing we want to check on is the steering wheel position. Tap on that. So once you're done out checking all the tires, make sure the air pressures are within the specifications. You're going to want to check the backlash of the steering wheel. Check the backlash of the steering wheel. You're going to need a tape measure, and I'm going to use a trusted pen. So, you allow 2 inches of movement in your steering wheel. Anything you have excessive play on that, you're going to want to investigate the cause down into your gearbox. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this tape measure a little long, so I can set it on the floor out of the way. And that'll give me plenty of movement. If you got an old tape measure that's cut, probably wouldn't be bad to keep 12 inches of it. That'll fit nicely around the steering wheel. So I'll place it here. I'm going to sit nice and still while I do so. I'm just going to put the pen in my chest, mark it right here at the 4. And then I'm going to turn the wheel all the way to the left, to the right. Goes to the 5. Come back. About 3 1/4. Go back to 5. 3 1/4. So that's about a 1 1/4 or 1 3/4 inch full travel back and forth, which is well within the 2-inch standard that is given for this class of truck. The steering wheel should be good. We're also going to want to check to make sure there's not a lot of excessive play here. There's a little bit of movement, but it should be there's anything of excessive there. That checks the tilt works. There we go. Make sure all the components of the steering wheel are functioning properly. If there's anything misaligned on that, you're going to want to check that before you actually go and take care of your wheel alignment. Now we're going to carry out for the suspension inspection. So you're going to want to come up. If you wanted to, you could actually do this portion in the air. Drive it up on the stand, jack it up, lift it up. That way you can get a nice good visual and lift on it. You're going to want to check definite issues with any bearing play, which on that you're going to want the suspension off the ground. But anything, excessive movement in the front tires, come down, Inspect your steering linkage, your steering shaft from your steering wheel, from the cab, through the firewall, into your gearbox. Check any excessive play. Check your fitment arm. Make sure your mounting hardware on everything's good on that. Check your drag link. Make sure it's not going to move excessively. Make sure the upper steering arm on your steering knuckle is good. Look for any excessive spacing in here from your kingpin. Make sure all your mounting hardware is on in good shape. Make sure there's no deformation in your axle. Go to the back side. Sometimes it helps out to steer it. Somebody in the truck to help steer it out. We'll reach in, grabbing your tie rod ends, and your steering knuckles. Try and wiggle them around. Try and see if there's any excessive play or movement in them. See if there's any deformations down inside the cross tube of your tie rod. Another thing you're going to want to check also now is we go to the back to inspect this portion of the suspension. Again, you're going to want to double check your airbags. Make sure they're not overly deflated or inflated. Make sure all the mounting hardware is there. The shocks are all in good shape. Your U-bolts, make sure all the U-bolts are there. Check the torque on those on a scheduled basis, which is definitely more than often than yearly, but this is definitely a good time for it. Check the torque on the U-bolts. You're going to want to go through the complete suspension. Check your leaf springs, leaf spring connections, the leaf pin up front. Now we're going to go check the ride height. Two different ways to check the ride height. Being that this one has airbags, we're going to use this frame to the middle of the axle. However, if you didn't have airbags, it was just straight to the leaf spring, then you can check your shock height. Being that this one here has airbags on it, we're going to check the ride height of the axle from the frame down to the center of the axle. So we're going to put the tape measure on the bottom of the axle, or the bottom of the frame, and measure to the center point of the axle, and it should be 9.5 inches plus or minus 1/8. It's somewhat of an eyeball. Double check. But this one here looks, I'd say, right about the 9.5 inches. You could also, if you wanted to, put a square on here. Get a square off, mount something on there, so that we can get right to the axle, right in between your two U-clamps. It's definitely a little bit better spot to look for. And then you, like I said, you continue out, check all your suspension components before actually mounting it, or mounting any of the alignment hardware to the truck. If you find anything that's defective, repair, replace that, and adjust all those defects prior to actually starting the alignment. And that'll give you a little bit easier time hooking everything up and getting in line. So, again, James Margie here at JTech. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.